You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello, and welcome to this special season kickoff episode of the Red Devil Postgame. I'm Bryan Scott.
And I'm Kennedy Harris. In this edition of the Red Devil Postgame, we'll take a look back at Germantown's first game against Lausanne and also cover some of the best games from around the district.
But first, the Germantown Red Devils took on the Lausanne Lynx in a highly anticipated first matchup of the year. Story of the game, senior starting quarterback Miles Guyton was out with an illness, putting the pigskin in sophomore Ethan Payne's hands. Let's take a look at some highlights from the game. The game started with back-and-forth action. Germantown swayed the momentum with a big pick by number 34, Ted Lyons. A good catch from receiver Jalen Robinson and sideline work from number 3, Cameron Walker, but the Devils in a prime position to score from just a few yards out. However, the Devils couldn't find a way to punch one in. In comes the kicking team, and Marshall Ware puts it through the uprights to give Germantown the first points of the game. 3-0. Lausanne strikes right back with a pickoff of Payne in the second quarter. This set up the first touchdown of the game, a 35-yard run to the house by Eric Gray. Devils fired right back at Lausanne, putting their nose to the grindstone and powering their way to the end zone, as Cameron Tawari put it in for another 6 points. G-Town over Lausanne 10-6. Lausanne capitalizing off of Payne's interception, leading to another Lausanne touchdown drive. 12-10 Lausanne going into half. Lausanne threw it into overdrive coming back from the half. One play, 80 yards, Eric Gray to the house for the touchdown. Eric Gray strikes again, this time a 45-yard reception for another Lausanne touchdown. And it just went downhill from there. Another Germantown interception and yet another Lausanne touchdown from Nolan Dillard. Seconds later, Nolan Dillard throws it to Eric Gray, who muscles his way into the end zone. 39-10 Lausanne. Nolan Dillard wasn't finished for the night, as a great read from the man under center led him to add to the devastating score, 46-10. The Lausanne defense didn't want the game to end without getting in on the action. Number 4 Cameron Sims snatched yet another pass from Payne and took it back 17 yards to the end zone. Final score wasn't pretty in this one, a stinging loss to start the season for the Devils, 54-10. Joining us now on set is Germantown head football coach Chris Smith. Thank you for joining us today, Coach Smith. So in the first couple of minutes in the game, you could tell that everybody on the team was really hyped up for the game, and you could tell that with their play. So what was their mindset coming into the game?
Their mindset was, they put in a lot of hard work this offseason. They put in a lot of investment, practiced hard all summer, all fall, and in the heat. They were definitely prepared to play, and I think that showed the first half. And they knew their back was against the wall a little bit, with Miles Guyton being out, but I thought they played really tough the first half. We were proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, Coach Smith, the team came out stronger out the gate and then kind of had a slip at the second half. Can you tell us what happened?
Really what happens, they made some adjustments. They forced some younger guys to make some plays at certain positions. But other than that, they made some plays. We misaligned a few times. It only takes a yard or two here or there with 2 or 3 misalignments. They put it in the end zone. So give them credit. They made some great plays, but it also was a great learning experience for some of our guys, and I think we made those corrections that we're looking forward, moving on.
And you touched on it a little bit. We have a very young team here at Germantown. Can you talk about, the youth on our team and how they're coming up the ranks now?
We have a very large freshman class. We have a very large sophomore class. We also have a lot of steady juniors, but we also have a great senior class as well, and I think they're taking on the leadership role. We made the corrections, and they're a big part in making those corrections with the younger classmen that actually played. And as I said, we're looking forward to getting back on the field and playing some good football.
So, Coach Smith, there were chances on defense to get the Lausanne offense down on the first shot. Can you tell us how broken tackles and misjudgment affected the game?
Well, a lot of those were misalignment errors. Some of our players lined up just a yard or two wrong, and a yard or two is all it takes for some great players to make big plays in game-type situations. So we plan on, again, we made those corrections during the week, and they're going to line properly, and I think they're going to make those plays in the future. The reads are going to be a little bit quicker, and they were excited to hit the practice field on Monday, as we all were, and we're ready to get back and play some football.
And on the offensive side, we had 6 turnovers in the game. How does having those turnovers affect your defensive side once they get back on the field?
Well, it puts them in bad field position. Momentum swings in the favor, and usually, wherever you start on the field, it has a great indicator of your percentages of scoring. If they start on the 40-yard line, then their percentages of scoring really go up to 57%. But they start at really the 20-yard line, it goes down to you're looking at 14 to 15%. So it makes a big difference, and we want to take care of the football. But again, it was a great learning curve for some of those players. And I think it's only going to help us down the road. And we're excited, again, to hit the field as soon as we can.
So, of course, the story of the game was Ethan Payne starting in place of Miles Guyton, who was out with the illness. Can you tell us how having a more inexperienced quarterback affected the game?
Well, I thought he played great the first half. I think people got to give a 10th grade sophomore quarterback a lot of credit. I loved his demeanor on the field. He's going to be a great quarterback for Germantown. I mean, he held his poise the whole game. That'll probably be one of the toughest secondaries that we play against all season, but he was ready to grab the ball, and he showed that the first half. And we're very excited and optimistic about his future at Germantown, and Ethan knows that we're going to stick by him. We got full confidence in him, and his teammates also support and love him, and they know he's going to be a great player.
And we touched on it a little bit. Miles Guyton was out with the injury. And we also saw people like Trey Goins go down with an injury. Is there any timetable for those returns back to the field?
I think we can expect Miles Guyton to return to the field tonight.
Okay.
Trey Goins will also be okay. He'll return to the field tonight. So it should be a full-strength Germantown tonight. And that's why we're looking forward to getting back on the field as well.
So up next, we have SBA. And we also have Houston near in the future. How will you prepare for these games?
We're going to like I said, we're going to make the corrections whenever we see the tapes, the practice tapes, the game tapes. What were the things that happened within the game that caused us to give up points or that caused us to not score points? We went back, we graded every player, we evaluated every single play and what we could have done better. We showed the players exactly what it was that caused the result. And again, I think they're excited to see that because they're excited to fix it. And Houston will be the first region game in our 6A region, which is a tough region, but we're excited to hit the field on them. It'll be alumni night. I think we'll have great fan support like we had the Lausanne game. I don't know exactly how many people were at the game, but somebody told me it was between 4,000 and 5,000. There were a lot of people. The fans were phenomenal. They stayed around. They were great the first half and very optimistic. So we're definitely looking forward to taking this game tonight at St. Benedict, and we're looking forward to the alumni night against Houston at our place. So,
yeah, that Houston game is always a great game in our season. It's really like the center point of our season. And so now that we have the first game under our belt, what's the outlook for the rest of the season here?
The outlook for the rest of the season, you usually make your most improvement in a football season between week 1 and 2. And I think we could see a significant improvement level when we take the field tonight. And we hope to have that momentum, win this one, and hope to get some momentum moving into the future schedule, and we're excited to get back on the field.
Well, the team also had 6 turnovers during the game. How did that hurt our chances of winning?
Oh, I mean, you give the ball to the other team, it definitely, they had 6 more drives than we had, so obviously the point total goes way up in your favor. You have a lot more chances to score if that other team has 6 more drives than you do. But at the same time, I think we'll make those corrections as well and take care of the ball in the future.
Right. At halftime, it seemed like, we had a really good chance of winning. We were down 12-10, and then, they just come back and they had that really big play coming out of the half, that really just hurt our morale. They ended up scoring 34 points in the span of 5 minutes, I believe, is the official stat. So how do you think, that hurt our game going forward after giving up that many points in such a little amount of time?
Well, I think it also it showed some things we needed to work on. It was a lot of that, what you're talking about is the alignment issues that we had. They came out in some formations we didn't adjust. Our players knew what to do. They just didn't get it. We missed, like I said, we missed a line, a yard or two here or there, but Our kids are resilient. They know that we're a good football team. They're ready to take the field. We have full confidence in them. We have a great senior group who's going to pull it together.
Yep.
And they're looking forward to a great season. It's not going to deter. It's not going to dictate or determine our season. We're ready to take the field, and we are ready to play some football.
Well, Coach Smith, thank you for joining us today, and we cannot wait to see the rest of the season.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
We have to take a short break. We will return shortly with more updates from the Germantown Red Devil postgame. Stick around.
Welcome to Germantown High School, an international baccalaureate creative and performing arts optional school, a destination school for students who are going places.
Our students are of the highest caliber when it comes to their academics and knowledge.
The IB program is a very rigorous program.
You were challenged in a way that you thought you couldn't be challenged. You succeeded, something that other kids may not have thought they could do.
They're accepted to colleges that are just, dream colleges for so many people.
Germantown High School offers a CAPA program, the Creative and Performing Arts program.
When I first came here, I saw the television studio and I was just amazed at what all I saw.
Kids do everything, that they're taught every detail that has to do with theater arts and creative arts.
I love a lot of things about Germantown High School, but primarily what I love is the athletics. There's something exciting around every single corner.
We probably are one of the most diverse high schools in the state of Tennessee, maybe the United States.
I would never doubt about sending your child to Germantown High School.
This high school is something not like any other high school that we have.
There's definitely fun in the work. We find fun in everything we do.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to this edition of the Red Devil Postgame. I'm Bryan Scott.
And I'm Kennedy Harris. Before the break, we took a look at the highlights from the Germantown versus Lausanne game. Now let's see the game through the player's point of view in this week's edition of Player Playback.
We had it first quarter, first half, but it's like, we let a couple big plays, like I said, we let a couple big plays beat us, and everybody just dropped their head. I was trying to pick them up.
It's like on defense, we lost a little bit of intensity after one drive. We got a lot of young players. They just got to keep their head up. They never got a chance to play JV. They jumping straight to varsity, and it's their first time on these Friday night lights. It's a lot of jitters out.
We came out the second half ready to play. We knew what they were beating us on the line in the second half. We couldn't really run. We couldn't really pass. We came out on the second half, and our line started to block and let me get through the holes, and it was just on from there. We just had fun.
They were capitalizing on our mistakes. We were just, it would be dumb mistakes, lining up wrong, we just let a few big plays beat us, that's all.
Everybody just came together as a team. Nobody was selfish. Nobody just wanted theirs. Everybody came together and wanted to win as a team and just get the W tonight.
And we just got to improve in basically everything. Less penalties, watch the ball more. We gotta be on it a whole lot more than we were this game.
We practice all day, every day. From 2:15 to 5 o'clock, running at least 300 plays every day.
We're gonna take one game at a time. Each week we want to be 1-0. If we do that and we play how we're supposed to play, there's no reason we shouldn't just go undefeated, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
It's gonna be special. It's our last year, and we won our championship in 8th grade. This is our last chance, and we're gonna make something happen for Germantown.
You're watching the Red Devils postgame.
A little voice came on the phone and said, "Daddy, when you come home." He said the first thing that came to his mind,
I'm already there.
I'm already there. Take a look around. Oh, I'm already there.
Being there. Pass it on.
One of the Mid-South's greatest events is turning 45, and you're invited to the party. GHS-TV will bring you live coverage of the 45th Annual Germantown Festival from the Germantown Civic Club Complex. Our reporters are your eyes, ears, and mouths to the region's top artisans, entertainers, and the area's most delicious food. Tune in and be a part of the tradition. Live coverage of the 45th Annual Germantown Festival begins Sunday, September 11th at 2 p.m. only on GHS-TV.org. This is one birthday bash you don't want to miss. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to this edition of the Red Devil Postgame. I'm Brian Scott.
And I'm Kennedy Harris.
So Kennedy, what do you think keyed the Lausanne Lynx on to victory against the Red Devils last Friday night?
Well, what I feel like is Lausanne came out the gates ready to play. You can tell that they did their homework against the Red Devil offense, and they came to play, and they also delivered. And you can see that their defense really matched up well with our offense, even though our offense is really premier when it comes to running, play action pass, screen pass, but they seem very prepared to play the Germantown Red Devils.
And that's a sign of a really great team, another class of team, you know, coming back after that bad first half and just winning the game in that second half.
Exactly.
Now it's time to take a look at some of the top games from around the area. Reporter Adam Sapp gives us this update with video provided from WMC-TV. Adam?
Thanks, Brian. I'm Adam Sapp, your GHS reporter, and today I'm going to give you Friday's top 4 best games of the week. Kicking off with the first game, Melrose taking on Pope John Paul II at Melrose. And what should have been a favorable matchup for Melrose turned into this week's biggest upset as Pope John Paul II took down Melrose 28-22. Next, we have MUS and Memphis Central. The Owls defeated the Warriors at home in a non-conference matchup 19-13. Following up in a non-conference game, White Station versus Christian Brothers, it was a gratifying home win for the Purple Waves as they thwarted the visiting Spartans 22-14, keeping the rank 16. And last but not least, our biggest game of the week was Cordova versus East High. First to hit the end zone is Cordova with a 5-yard handoff to number 32, Jeremy Banks, showing his way through 2 Mustangs to get to the touchdown. The Wolves didn't celebrate for long as East High slowly made their way onto the scoreboard with the quarterback sneak from number 13, Justin Lynn, for a touchdown, leaving the final score 27-13. Those were the scores around the district Friday night. Back to you, Brian.
Thanks, Adam. Now let's take a look at some of the best teams from around the district with this week's Power Rankings. Starting off our rankings, we have number 1 Whitehaven, spearheaded by a great defensive force, led by former Red Devil Aubrey Miller. They beat Mitchell High last week in a dominating win, 33-0. Next up, Cordova. The Wolfpack beat East High last week in a compelling matchup, and they move on with one of the best offensive and defensive combinations in the area. They beat East 27-13 last week. Third position, Christian Brothers. Purple Wave powerhouse looks to improve off of last week's win over White Station, 22-14. Rounding out the top 6, we have Tresvant, who beat Kip 36-6, Bridgeway, who beat Houston 46-10, and MUS, who beat Central 19-13. So Kennedy, out of those top 6 teams, who do you think has the best shot to be best of the preps?
Well, I feel like even though Whitehaven is number 1, I feel like Cordova at number 2 might end up at number 1 by the end of the season. After seeing how good their defense is, I feel like they can beat Whitehaven, even though Whitehaven has such a great running game with former Red Devil Aubrey Miller.
Definitely, definitely. Aubrey is one of the best players in the state. It's very surprising seeing a former Devil here move on and having such great success. He's making them one of the best teams in the district.
I agree. Let's get back to the rankings. Number 7 Lausanne took on Germantown here at the home of the Red Devils last week. We all know how that game ended as the Lynx showed their dominance with a convincing win, 54-10. Number 8 Covington beat Munford last week, 13-6. Big matchup next week against Melrose, which would probably determine their season. Number 9 White Station lost to Christian Brothers last week. The Spartans showed that they just weren't up to par. Look for them to drop in the next ranking. Number 10 East lost to Cordova last week. East showed that they could still put up a fight, but they just aren't the same caliber as Cordova. Number 11 Hardin beat Wooddale 52-6. Look for this small private school to move up substantially in the coming weeks. Finishing our rankings, St. George's beat Jackson Trinity 49-21 in a battle between the last 2 state champions in the 2A division. With the win, St. George's looks like the favorite to go back-to-back in their district. So Brian, of those last 6 teams, which one do you think could be the underdogs to win it all?
Well, we just saw how good Lausanne was last week. I don't even know why they're in the bottom half of the bracket. They have one of the best offenses and defenses in the entire area. They have some of the best running backs and skill position players that I've ever seen. They've got transfers from IMG, which is one of the best prep schools in the entire nation. He transferred to Lausanne, and now he's having a spectacular season. And not only do they have skillful players, but they know how to play. They know how to play the game. And that's very, very imperative that they know what they're doing and that they know what they're doing in those clutch positions.
Now we'll throw it back over to reporter Adam Sapp to show us the upcoming schedule for the Red Devils.
Looking ahead at the Red Devils' upcoming schedule, on September 2nd, the Houston Mustangs, a longtime GHS football rival, clash helmets right here at home. Then, on September 9th, the Red Devils would head over to Briarcrest Christian School and take on the Saints. The forceful Whitehaven Tigers will host a heated game on September 15th in a rematch that you won't want to miss. And wrapping up the back-to-back rivalries in the schedule, the Devils will seek a win against the top-ranked Cordova Wolves on September 23rd. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Adam. So Kennedy, we just updated, the next couple of games that we have on our calendar. Out of those games, which are you looking forward to the most?
I am definitely looking forward to September 23rd against the Cordova Wolves. Because, like I said earlier, Cordova is a very tough team, and we would definitely see how we match up against the top team that day.
For me, I'm looking forward to that September 2nd matchup against Houston. Last year we went to their place, we upset them. It was a great moment for all of our fan base. Now we have them back at our place. Should be a great game, and I'm looking forward to the excitement. We got Alumni Day that day too.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward for a big win against Houston that day. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Red Devil Postgame. If you would like more information about our program, visit us at www.ghstv.org or find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at GHS-TV. From all of us here at GHS-TV, I'm Bryan Scott.
And I'm Kennedy Harris. We'll see you again on the next edition of the Red Devil Postgame. Go Red Devils!